Hello, hello there. My name is Harry Wood, and I work at NRSC in Talladega, Alabama. I am so excited to have you here today for me to teach and discuss with you more about coding. So, today, what we're going to do is part of the Hour of Code Week. I'm hoping to teach you how to make your own game. You know that game? It's pretty old, pretty popular though, called Hangman. You know, two players. We've got one person that thinks of a word, um, gives the category. The other person gives letters and hopes to guess the full word before the body is hung. So that's when the game ends, is either when the word is guessed or the man is hung. So we're doing that today with kind of a modern day twist. First, we need to name our file. We will be using Scratch today, as you can see on your screen here. So first, we've got to name our file. We're going to save the file name, which is Hangman. Now, obviously, we need to make the costume for our character. We're not going to use the cat. I want to use a platform for the person to be hung, and then we'll work out our costume there. So here is the cat. We do not want this character, so we're going to delete all of it. Now I'm going to make the platform. Now we're going to make the rest of the flat platform. We don't want it too thick, so we're going to change it maybe to size 6. I don't know. I'm just making that up. You can think of your own number there. So how you do that is you use the shift key and it will be straight instead of having a bend or a twist to it. Click shift key and it will straighten that out. So you'll have the angles correctly. So that's nice. Make sure your line is exact and straight. The very thin line, we're going to go ahead and delete that one. And I'll go ahead and create the rest. Oh, oops. I want it to stay at 6 here. There we go. Okay, so now that's ready. Now we need to make a different costume for the different body parts that you will be hanging here. Let's see what we can make. So the first is the cat costume. So we want to duplicate the platform, and draw the head. We're not using the cat costume. We're going to draw the head here. Then we're going to duplicate it again. We're going to draw the body. Duplicate again. And again. Now duplicating for the arm. And the other arm. So there is our full body. You can make it easier by this way of just making the body. You could make it more complex with making hands and feet and smiley faces or whatnot. But you notice everything's good there. The real game, it looks like the real game, okay? So it looks a little smaller. We want to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. Now I have to go back to each duplicated screen and make sure they're all at 200. So they are. All of them became 200. That seems to be a new feature. I used to have to go to each screen for that. So now I'm ready to start putting the code in. First thing we need to do is, of course, we need the word that we want. So tell the game which word we want. Have one person think of a word, make up what they want, and then we'll make a list of the letters. So the list we want to make in the variables here. Make a list. And the list's name, we're just going to put something random. You can put any name you want to. Now we have the list box that's empty there. So you want to put each letter in there. But first we need to have a word that we would like to build from. So we're going to make up a word here. Now you see I made the variable show up here. Now we have to ask the person to give us a word so we can put it in there. We need to use the sensing category over here for that. You have to ask the person to give you a word. So it says, what's your name? But replace that with the word. So what's the word? And that word that they give me, I will put that in the variable category. So once it goes in the variable area, we can go from then. So use WORD, word variable. So that word variable you set up by following what the person gives you, what the word that the person gives you. So then we're going to follow that with answer. So set word to answer. And you'll put the word in the orange box and it will replace that. So I'm going to test it. And to test, I'm going to click on the green flag under control. I'm sorry, that's under events, not control. So when you click on that, it should ask you the word. So it's waiting for me to provide the word. Once done, we test it. So we're going to click that green flag and test. All right. So it asks me to put the word. What's the word? So I'm going to put that in there. So you see I clicked that and the variable changed up there. Perfect. So we're trucking along here. So now once you're done with getting that word, we're going to need to put a list. So you look at the word, how many letters it has, and pull from that. So firstly, what we want to do is look for repeat category. So obviously we need to follow word. So we're not going to put 5 because, I mean, you could put 5 and make it more complex, but the word itself, the variable itself is going to be set to word. So we're going to use the length of that word, which is going to be under variables, I believe. Oh no, I was wrong. Under sensing. Length of the word. Where is it? I can't find it. Okay, it's under operations. Excuse me. So it says apple. That's just a default word that they usually use for this. Now we'll repeat these and then put it in the list. So I'm going to make my list and interchangeable there. So you know my guesses, add the letters. So the next part of the program, I want to ask the person to give me the letters. So guess their letters. Now, how do we know how many guesses they have? Obviously, that's how many costumes you use. So with my game, I have 7 costumes. So you need to tell the program to continue until the 7th costume is done, and then it's over. So we're going to use operators again. And I'm going to use that block, blank equals 50. I want to put blank, which that represents the costume, and the second number there represents how many costumes. So let's see. Blank equals 7 costumes. So it should look like that. So costume number equals 7. So we want to repeat that until we hit 7. So we're going to put that in the category of repeat here. So repeat until 7. Now I'm going to ask the person to give me a letter. So they're going to take a guess. So of course, what's your name will be deleted. You're going to guess a letter or a phrase or word itself. So guess a letter. And now when you guess, you're going to give me that and we're going to go from there. So I need, like say we guess A. So you're going to give me A. And then we have to look at the word. The word is house. House. There's no A in house. So you've checked each letter. There's no A. If it matches, then it will show up on the list. If it does not match, you need to add the head or the arm or whatever body part you start with. So it needs to count. So when I'm counting, that helps me. It's just easier to track on the program. So I need another variable for that. I'm going to add counting. So that's going to show up there. Now my counter is set up right there. Counter. So if it's not the first letter, then we'll move on. Now to check each letter, it means I have to repeat this again and again as well. So we're going to look for repeat to put in counter. So then we want to count the words. So we're going to do operator. So of course this is involving math. So this is the length. Remember, we're going to put length of word. So we're going to look at the first letter. If what, then. So if the first letter, hold on, we need to look at this again. So really this is list. Now, wait a minute. I think I'm making a mistake here. Hold on. I'm wrong. That's what I'm looking for. Letter. So I want to look at the list. You gave me your guess. So I'm going to put it in the counter now. So now we've got letter counter of the word. So if the first letter matches what you gave me, then I want them to equal the answer, and then we'll proceed. If it equals, we'll have to multiply again. We'll have to do the math again. Now math has kind of become English to a true or false statement. Okay. So now if it matches, the list is blank, but we're going to put guesses in the list, whatever we want on the list. Let's see. Replace so the first of my list is with their answer. So we're going to test that part now and see if it works, if I've done the right calculations or not. Then we're going to run it again. So I'm going to make up a word here. Oh, I'm stuck. I'm going to use the word brain. It's got 5 letters in it, so we're going to guess R. It didn't put the letter in there. I wonder what we need to do. Oh, the counter has to change. Right now it's stuck on 1. So it's stuck on number 1. It hasn't moved out of that yet. So let's see what we can do here. So let's try that again. Okay, now I'm going to guess R. Oh, yay, it worked. So I'll have to I did not use that counter, which means I had to look at the first letter and I was stuck there. It didn't tell me to move on to the next letter. I didn't tell it to move on to the next letter. So when it matches, you will see the results there and you can move that into that. So perfect. Okay, so for the next part, we're going to figure out what to do if you have a wrong guess. So how we change the costume there. So we're going to do 2 things. We need to add another if-then statement. So if it doesn't match, then replace it. So the problem is we have no way of a kind of identifying yes or no. So if it works or if it doesn't work. So suppose it doesn't replace and change the variable. How do we know we go on to the next one? So if it happens, if it's right, then it'll add the variable. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new variable here. And I'm just thinking of a new variable. If I find the answer, yeah, we'll just say that word, found. So we found it equals 0. So we set that up starting with 0. Set found to 0. Now we've done that. So if it works and if it's found, that's true, and I want it to continue counting thereafter. So we put it there because it's found. Now, what if I don't find the answer? If the variable is already 0, so if it equals 0, then it will change that. If it does not equal 0, then we'll have to work something else out. So we put found equals, we're going to put found equals 0, and we're going to put that in the if-then statement. So it'll switch costumes if is not found. So if it does fail, it will go on to the next part and continue doing that. So let's test it now. So let's use a short word, cat. Okay, perfect. I'm guessing the letter A. Okay, that worked out for us. If it's a wrong letter, so let's say O, then it adds the head. Perfect. So I was wrong. So a piece of my body went up there. Let's say G. Okay. So it adds that perfectly. Let's say T. Oh, that was one of the letters that is in our word. So it popped up there on list. Okay, I guessed the wrong one again. Guessed wrong one again. And I'm done. It doesn't offer me any more guesses. So that's perfect. We're moving along. So I like when we get to make sure it happens on the first time, but if it doesn't, you never know with coding. So you might have to go back and do it a second or third time, even fourth or fifth, as many times as it takes to fix your problem, and then run it again. And so let's make sure, let's run it one more time. Oh, it already identified the first problem. What's the problem? The body's still there. Darn. So that means the costume itself has to go back to nothing. So we're going to change costumes here. So it's the first costume. So every time I run it, it should start over. Perfect. It started over. It made a blank space for us. So it seems we found one mistake. We cleaned it up. Now let me think of a different word. Dog. So that doesn't match. Okay, so I failed. So my man is hung. So now I need to start over. Okay, so that's perfect because it started over and it took the man off. And now it started with one letter. So, I'm going to leave that to you to figure out how to do the rest of it. Try to set up your own code where when the answer is done, yay, congratulations, or good job, I'll let you be able to figure that out. Have fun creating your own code. I want to show you one more time. It's right here. So that is to run the Hangman game. I hope you have a lot of fun learning that, and good luck developing that. If you have any problems, please contact me. Until next time.